So teachers have asked about how to make online video tutorials or screencasts for their students during this online distance learning time. And a great tool that we have at our disposal is WeVideo. The district has a pro account for this that enables this feature. So in order to get there, you can come to the Polson Middle School homepage and then go to the Library Media Center page. And then once you're there, you're going to go to Resources. And at the bottom of the resource page, you're going to go to Link to Create Account. It's going to bring you here, and you're going to select Join with a New Account. And when you do this, it's really important to make sure that you're already signed in to your madisonps.org Google account. So when you click this, it'll bring you through some prompts, which I don't have to go through because I already have my Pro account activated. But you're going to go through the prompts. It's going to ask you to allow WeVideo to be available through your Google account. Now once you go through all of those prompts, it's a good idea to come over here to Projects. Assuming that you're going to make more than one video tutorial, it's a good idea to be in Projects, come down here to the plus sign and click Create New Project. So you may want to call this project Student Screencasts or Online Tutorials. You're going to make it personal. You're going to click Next. And you're not going to add any media, so you're going to click Next. You are going to be recording yourself, or your screen rather. And then once you're here, you click Create Video. And you're going to create one from scratch with a blank edit. So you click Start. So once you're here, this is your video timeline. I'll get into that in a minute, but the first thing we want to do is come to My Media, and right here with this record button, we're going to record our screen. So it's going to ask you what you want to record. Now you're not recording just yourself, you're going to be recording your screen, and then you're going to open up a new tab to show your students whatever you want to show them. And then the other option here is webcam and screen, which actually records your webcam and your screen at the same time, and then you could always insert a little tiny image of you while you're going through the tutorial. For now, I'm just going to keep it simple and record the screen. So select that, select OK. It's going to ask you to choose an audio source. So if your laptop has an external microphone or an internal built-in microphone, you can select that. I'm going to use external microphone because I have plugged a microphone into my laptop. So I'm going to click Next. And it gives you these three options. I think it's safest to record your entire screen to give yourself the flexibility of jumping back and forth between different tabs for your students. So then click Share. It's going to give you this countdown to get ready. And so once it says go, it's recording everything on your screen. So when it starts recording your screen, you're going to see this little box down here at the bottom saying that WeVideo is sharing your screen, and this Stop Sharing button is what you have to click in order for it to stop sharing. But you don't want this box staying there the whole time you're recording, so it's best to click Hide here. And what that does is it puts it down, hidden away in your dock. So on a Mac, you can see it's down here. I could call it back up to stop. If you're on a PC, it's also going to be down there somewhere in your dock where you can go down and call it back up and click Stop Sharing when you're ready to. So let's say that I wanted to create a screencast for my students on how to do something with a program I use called Tinkercad. So I can jump back and forth between tabs. So I'm going to be in this tab and let my kids know I need them to copy this approval code into their profile. So I may jump over to a new window where I want my students to learn how to log into Tinkercad. So I would instruct them to log in with their Google account. And this is something I'm going to have to do for my new third trimester kids. So I'm using a fake student account here for them and walking them through the steps of how to log into Tinkercad. So I don't need to go into the details of the tutorial that I'm going to be making for my students. So I'm going to be jumping back now. Well, let's say I'm done. So once I'm done, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if I'm in my separate tab to finish up my tutorial, I would come down again to that little box that allows me to stop sharing my screen, and I click Stop Sharing. So once you click Stop Sharing, then you're gonna want to go back to your WeVideo tab. And so that video that you've just clicked stop sharing on is going to appear in your media folder. And so let's say this is it. You're going to take that video that you just made, your screencast you just made, and you're going to drag it into your timeline. Now, I had a previous clip for this video that I'm making for you up in my media folder. I dragged it down here, and now I added a new one. And so when you're in here, what you could do is you can remove like the beginning of that video. So let's see, we can play this back and see if it's seamless. So it's recording everything on your screen. So when it starts recording your screen, you're going to see this little box down here at the. So let's say there was a slight pause at the beginning of my video there. I can change my view. I can zoom into my timeline with this slider down here, which makes it helpful for me to get a better view of where things begin and end. So if I want to trim out the first few seconds of this clip, I can select it, place my mouse over the edge of that clip, and then I can drag it to remove the first couple seconds, and then I could slide it over. If I wanted to, I can add a transition in between those two clips, like a little crossfade. I can drag between them if I want to do that. Oh, and if you can't see your audio waves, that's because the default is this view here. So you can use this arrow on your video 1 track, and you can expand it so you can see your audio waves. So you can have clips arranged in order along your timeline. You can click and drag, and you can move things around. You can change the order if you want. And I'm going to zoom in more so that I could see more of my video. Now, as you can see over here in video 2, there's this element. So this is a subtitle that I added to my video because I wanted to make a point of emphasis over the video clip I recorded, because there's something I didn't mention that I wanted to make clear to my viewers. So to create any sort of subtitle or title to your video, you're going to come over to this tab up here in the WeVideo editor. So let me go back to the very beginning of this video where I can add a title. I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to use this one, In With a Whisper. I'm going to drag it to the video 2 track. And then with this little menu icon, I'm going to click the pencil to edit it. And I'm going to change In With a Whisper to Screencasting with WeVideo. And I'm going to, I can move that if I want to reposition it. I can always drag it around the screen. Maybe so that it's over like the dark part of the video so it's easier to read. I could save changes, and then I'll play it back so you can see what that looks like. So teachers have asked about how to make online video tutorials or screencasts for their students during this online distance. And so you can see how that works. I can tell you that to make a subtitle, if you want to add additional information to your video, it's best to go to the static folder of text. And I just chose subtitle boxed. And then again, you just drag it to where you want it to appear in your video. And again, to edit it, use the pencil, and then you add your text here, and so on. And you save changes. So I'm going to cancel that. And again, you can always move your text box around on the screen where you want it to go. So let's say other editing features. Let's say there's a part of your video where you have a really long pause and you kind of need to collect your thoughts. Rather than stopping and starting, just plow through, and then you can edit it later in post-production. So like this is a pause I could see from the waveforms. If I want to get rid of that, it's really easy. I can take my playhead, the blue playhead, and select the clip, and I can put it right there, and I can use the scissor icon to split the clip. And then I can remove the part I don't want. And then I can piece them back together again. Now, I actually didn't want to do that for this video, so there's the handy undo button there. There, so I'm going to leave it like that. So you can split clips that way. That's also really convenient if you kind of fumbled over your words. You just plow through, and then you can edit out that fumble. Regroup, edit it out in post-production by, again, using the playhead to position the cursor where you need it to, cut the video, and then cut out just cut out the section you don't want to be in the video anymore, and then piece it back together. One thing that's really important before I forget is while you're editing, it's a good idea to come up here to this menu icon and save. Click save to your video, and it's going to make sure that you save it. It will save periodically by itself, but it's always a good idea to go up there and click save. I think the first time you do that, it might ask you to change the title. If you want to change the name of your video, you just click right there, and you can always change the title. Now, when you're done with your video and it's all edited and said and done, you're going to come up here to finish. And you're going to give it a title. So it's going to say just my video. So you just click up here, and you can just type over what you want it to be called. And you're going to make sure you select HD so that it's in the highest quality. And it's important that you push it to your YouTube account. So if you're not logged into YouTube, it'll prompt you to be logged into YouTube when you click finish. The reason you have to upload it to YouTube is because that makes it ADA compliant for our hearing impaired students, because students will always have the option of turning on closed captioning. I think it's also a good idea to place it in your Google Drive as a destination. So click that button as well. And then you click export. So it's going to tell you how long it's going to take to process the video. And so just make sure you just kind of leave it. You can leave tabs while it's processing. Let me just show you real quick in YouTube where you would go to take your finished product and grab the URL. So when you're in YouTube, make sure you click on your account there and go to your channel. So here's one. Here's Screencasting with WeVideo. And what you would do is go down to share, copy this URL, and then you're going to paste that URL into your Google Classroom, wherever it makes sense for you to place it, as material, part of an assignment, etc. And again, students will have the option of turning on closed captioning once the closed captioning is ready by YouTube. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to jump back to WeVideo here. When your project is done, it's going to show up in your Google account and your Google Drive. And to get back to it, if you want to, edit it, if you want to stop editing it halfway through, you could always, go back into it. So let's say I want to work on the student screencast video some more. I can get back here and I could add more to it if I need to, if I wasn't able to edit it all down in one shot. And then you can always, finish it as many times as you want in case you weren't happy with the first export that you did. All right, so that's it. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. And don't hesitate to during these difficult times. I'm always here to help with you, and so is Mike Ginsberg. Thanks.